Welcome to the GRFC podcast, where we give you the behind-the-scenes look of what happened in this Fire Pro Federation. I'm your host, the goth rockstar, Zach Roper, joined along with the owner of GRFC, Dead Shadow, and some couple of other faces. How's it going, guys?
You fucking suck.
Yeah, we all do.
That's not nice.
Bad, too bad.
Man, this is a hell of a way to start episode 2.
But anyways,
Yeah, exactly.
anyways, I was just Marv Rivers, aka the Demon Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate this product. It's awful. You know what's better? JR's barbecue
What?
sauce, and we need a sponsor from you, my guy.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yeah.
thing that can save this.
This fucking company, man.
Alright, so we actually have someone new joining in for this episode that wasn't able to make it. Show! Introduce yourself real quick before we get this started.
It feels good to be back around my peers. It's been 81 years, something like that. It's been forever.
Okay, it's not that long, son.
It's felt like it, I'll be
It's
honest
mean.
with you. It's felt like it, but it's good to be back around the GRC head honchos, the GRC elite. It's really damn good to be back.
Alright, so before we get started on the road to GRFC lockdown, first, we have to get this out of the way. Show. I think you've already introduced yourself a little bit, but tell us how you got into Fire Pro Wrestling World and how you were recruited into GRFC.
Well, how I got into it, Redact Company, it all came from a invite from Jay Ballmer himself.
Oh.
From another server that we were in. So he was like, "Hey, you want to join this?" I'm like, "Wrestling?" I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, I liked wrestling. You know, that was prime NXT. You know, the black and gold era, the true NXT days. So I'm like, you know what? I'll join. I'll go see. And me and Sharp, you know, we're like, all right, hey, let's just join it because, you know, he went trying to give invites. Me and Sharp like, no, we got along wrestling and all that. You know, that was another good thing that furthered our, you know, friendship and all that. And, you know, we had joined and, you know, we both always wanted, like, hey, you know, it's role play. How about we just make a tag team? You know, women's wrestling. You know, I always liked women's wrestling. It's just interesting, like, if you know, just book it right. So we were like, all right. He created Maya. I created Brooklyn. And then we, you know, both joined that company. Brooklyn had a huge rise throughout the company. And then, you know, the whole fallout and all of that. And then that's how we ended up with GRC. Y'all guys probably, you know, similar stories, you know, the huge fallout, and we just migrated over here, built our own company, and yeah, that's when it started. You know, became the GM of Massacres. Like, I remember Dad was like, all right, what names y'all guys want? And, you know, I wanted Sharp, like, hey, let's book this. We, you know, we could do this together. So we're like, okay, Massacre sounded like the best sounding name to us. So that's like, all right, let's just do Mondays. And then, you know, we got into did y'all guys talk about the famous draft that will never see the...
Oh, yeah, we mentioned that.
What?
Yeah, well, we... No.
So I don't
that
think I
draft-
gave anyone an option for a name. I think it just, like, kind of happened.
I feel
No,
like you just
we
put
had
names
all
there.
the names, and then
Yeah.
we got to choose which brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones, and then Zach, like, he had, like, top tier. And then, you know, we didn't want to take out. We were like, you know, Massacre sounds good. We can make our own image. So, you know, we had that famous draft. You know, Sharp probably told, you know, we were, because KYO, he was actually, dude, the reason why we ended up with so many, you know, Asians, which led to the Asian Heritage Division, was we wanted KYO. And Dead was like, hey, there's another dude on this roster, just like KYO. You see, for our draft, we drafted a whole bunch of Asians. None of them were like KYO. So the last pick, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to pick Johnny Rocket. Dead goes, hey, that's a KYO. Completely different ethnicity, nationality, and all that. So that's what led, and then...
Yeah, I meant the fighting staff.
Well, fighting style, I thought you meant, like, everything, like, okay.
No.
You know, it took to the last pick to get in Johnny to realize, oh, this is what he meant. But, you know, we decided to do what was best, you know, that the division, we came with the idea. We love that division. It was personally my favorite, I would say, besides the women's division. And, you know, you guys already talked about the lead up to
Homecoming.
Homecoming and all that. That was a great show. The Rise of Kenji. I hope Sharp did my boy proud in the last episode. I gotta watch that whenever we release, the episodes going on. But yeah, that's my story. We just migrated over here and was like, all right, let's do it our own selves.
All right. That yeah, I didn't know some of that, so thanks for sharing. So before we get to lockdown, there's a couple of things I want to do. First of all, just for fun, since we've kind of haven't recorded since September, or I think it was October when we recorded. Halloween passed after we did the episode. And I thought it'd be fun if I guess we could say what our Fire Pro characters would dress up as for Halloween. That's kind of a late Halloween kind of segment. So I'll start since I already have mine, and then I'll spin the wheel and let you guys do yours. So my character would obviously dress up as Eric Draven, aka the Crow, which is a very famous late 90s gothic superhero movie about a guitarist who dies. His fiance gets murdered. He gets brought back to exact vengeance. Carmela would probably dress up as Morticia Adams, and we already did this in Fire Pro, but Lilith would dress up as Carmela. So, let me spin the wheel and see who's going to share their costumes next.
You spin the wheel, make a deal, kid.
Mar! What would your characters dress up as for Halloween?
Right, this is obvious. Tanjiro Kamado.
Of course.
Demon Slayer. Of course, obvious, dude. It's obvious, of course. I'm a Demon Slayer fanboy after all. Or be like my hero, Aaron Rodgers. To lay on the ground.
So you mean a lot of weeping?
Yup.
All right,
Exactly.
Sho. What would your characters dress up as?
I guess for Brooklyn, there's 3 names that kind of go around. Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Great choice.
Jinx from Arcane.
Another
I
good
like
choice.
That one. And then the Raiden Shogun from Genshin. I don't know, both 3 I think would work. I think Shogun would work with she has the little braided hair.
Oh yeah.
I think Brooklyn would probably pull that one off best. But yeah, it would be probably between those 3.
Gotcha.
That would probably, if we, Massacre, when it comes back, I kind of want to get some themed attire for that, based off of one of them.
All right, Dead. You fuck. What would your character dress up as if you even have one?
Brad?
I mean, I feel like Eustace Bag or Oscar Grouch would probably work. Seems to fit pretty well.
All right, Sharp, you're last. We're saving the best.
This was actually the inspiration behind her Kingdom of Aces 2 attire. Maya Hapon would be Amaterasu, the goddess of the universe in Japanese mythology.
Oh wow, sweet. So no Tamama no Mei or anything like that.
Yep.
No Fox Shrine waifu. Got you. All right. So now that we've kind of discussed that little late Halloween thing, I'm gonna just quickly backtrack to some interesting things that happened during the whole homecoming thing that I forgot to talk about, and also something I just want to correct because I got the whole Praise and Milkman story incorrect.
Oh, the
So-
famous story?
Oh yeah, the famous story. So let me do that first before
To be fair, you fucked up.
I'm not gonna do the sound. So with the Tony the Milkman and Praise story, what I got wrong was, so I said that Praise was going to pin whoever was guilty or something like that, which it is correct, but the outcome I got wrong and what happened to them. So with that match, with whoever Praise pinned in the triple threat match, or whoever was pinned or whatever, was going to go to jail for the murder of the Muffin Man, and Praise ended up pinning Tony the Milkman. Now, this is important because Tony the Milkman's return is predicated on this. So, the whole storyline is like, oh, Tony murdered his brother, and that's when I kind of flipped it where it's like, huh, you know what, it'd be more fucked up if this person did it. So, fast forward to Homecoming, and Tony gets bailed from jail. So I think Praise ends up bailing him. He returns for the Rumble, wins the whole thing, and then that's when it's revealed that so actually I think it's the show, so we're getting into the show when the reveal happens. So I kind of spoiled it a little bit in the last episode, but I just wanted to make that correction real quick, and I'll talk about the rest of the story later. Something else that happened that I have to mention because this one best Uwu Army moment was the fact that on the Go Home show to Homecoming, Zach Roper had faced these two Asian bums that Top Tier Tuesday had in a handicap match. And the referee was Sierra Moon, who was someone that I had used in VRW, my promotion before World's Crappiest Company. And I convinced the owner of that place to get her as a referee, which he barely used her. And she became like Top Tier Tuesday's like first signed referee or whatever, like the primary referee. And she plays an important role because what happens is predicated on her. So Zach is facing these two bums in a 2-on-1 handicap match. They're both in the ring at the same time. So there's no tags or anything like that. So one of the guys ends up throwing Zach against the rope. Zach rebounds and he ends up just colliding into Sierra Moon, and Zach is hitting one of his moves, and when Sierra Moon gets up, she throws out the match, which really pisses off Carmella. So much that they had a little bit of a rivalry going on after that. Now, that wasn't bad enough. What happened might have been a career suicide for Zach if he hadn't recovered so fast after Homecoming. So what happened next was, because since we had some time left, because the matches were going really short because these bums couldn't get some good work rate going, Zach ended up challenging Marco Da Vinci as a, fuck that match, this is going to be the real match kind of thing. And Marco Da Vinci ends up getting a huge upset win over Zach, therefore causing in infamy Zach's worst fucking day in Top Tier Tuesday. So I had to mention that, because that shit was so important. So, with that being said, Mar, what do you remember about the build to GRFC's Lockdown, the final joint pay-per-view of GRFC?
So Lockdown?
So remember, you're the top tier heavyweight champion at this point.
Yeah, I was like champion at this time. I think I was like doing an open challenge at the time as well.
Oh yeah, Mr. George, the villain, ended up answering it, and I had to make sure. I was like, do you want to make this a title match more?
Did I say yeah? I think I say yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Then Zach at the time, I think we were feuding at times too. While
okay.
I was champion.
So I was gonna mention this on my turn, but I might as well say it now. So before, leading up to Homecoming, I was the talent-friendly Top Tier Tuesday GM, where I wanted to have the best matches possible, and I wanted to main event shows, but highlight other people. After I lost the Texas Deathmatch, I went full fucking heel authority mode where it's like, alright, fuck you. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get what I want as GM now. I'm gonna fucking abuse my power if I have to. So this was pretty much the start of that character development.
Yeah, I think I would say before lockdown came, we did a gauntlet match for Mar. And
No, so this is the go home show to lockdown. So
yeah, I think I remember that. But they sent a hitman basically on that first one.
oh yeah. Yeah, what was his
Um,
name? Who was the name of the hitman, Dad? Because you would know those.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that in the note thing?
It's Hitman Lee and Hitman Sean.
No,
Yeah.
it's not them. I think it was Alan Carter or something like that.
It was something like that.
but yeah, it was just. I remember that one spot. I think I remember this one spot. He did something on the apron.
Oh, he did a fucking
He had like some stiff German suplex where
Yeah,
he
he
basically
did.
killed him.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Mark got injured after that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh shit! Damn, Zach really tried to get Mark to die on that night.
Oh, I'll get to what I was doing when it's my turn.
Then then Mark barely beat him on the first match. The second match, I think after that he just gave up. Just, and it was over like quick too, surprisingly.
Yeah, so what was your like headspace at this time? Because I know you had another character on Monday, while Mar was on Tuesday,
My headspace.
which is ironic because that was your first theme song.
My first. Let's see.
Yeah, just know his own damn theme songs.
No, I'm trying to remember. It was from Far from the Gods.
In my
too.
headspace, I think I'm nothing. Am I too late? It was
Oh my
that
God.
one. It was the one with poor
As long
Stacey
as it's
featuring.
that skibby dop rap bullshit that he has.
Yeah, Far from the Gods.
Yeah, it was the one that he had in OWA where I asked you what it was because it sounded sick.
Oh fuck, I do not remember, but,
But,
I think it was the taste.
Yeah, but I mean, the theme song's not important. I just thought that was ironic that I stated that. But what was
Yeah.
your mindset? Because I believe this was when your other character was on Monday, and you were kind of juggling both of them at the same time.
Yeah, like I would try to like make sure they both get involved often as possible. Try to flip flop characters at the time, and trying to make sure that make some good storylines and put out some good matches as much as possible. And I'll focus on Mike a little bit more since he was relatively new. To be fair.
Or
At the
yeah, so
time?
it was Mike Rivers that was on Monday. Okay, just to
Yeah.
kind of let the people know at home know who we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. But I would focus on him more than Mar, since like it was my new character at the time as well. Because I just made Mike around those times before I left world's crappiest company.
I love that. That's like my trademark name for it now.
Or AKA ABC Mouse.
All right, those are the two names we're going with.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me right there.
All right, that's it. Sure,
Yeah.
you got nothing else to add?
Also, Top Tier Tuesday is still better.
All right, well,
Blows.
hey, Sami Zayn fucking shouted us out last night, so thank you, Sammy. So I believe it. Okay, here we go. So Sharp, your turn. What do you remember about the build to lockdown that you can also let show kind of talk about some things as well.
Yeah, let's just get on
Yeah,
the
let's do this
massacre
together.
train.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Massacre Squad.
Y'all know we have all our notes and we document every single little minute detail on Massacre. So we can give you the entire summary. So after Homecoming, we start just kind of continuing that momentum with the announcement of the Hana Kimura Memorial Women's Tournament, which will crown our main Massacre Women's Champion and our side Massacre Duchess Champion. A 32-woman tournament, 8 fatal four-ways. The winner of those 8 fatal four-ways go into single elimination. Then there'd be a third place match for the Duchess Championship, with the finals being for the Women's Championships.
And well, I'm gonna talk about over the blocks and stuff. Block A was Dahani, then we had Miyoko, Ainumi, and Anita Armstrong. Block B was Harley Sparks, Boston, Brooklyn Thompson, Texas Rose. That's a name I have not heard in a while. Block C was Golden Tigris and Amelia Earhart. Won the Javieras, Adrian Lopez. Block D, damn, this was fun. Rachel White, Megan Von Horn, Michelle Rochefort, Tiffany Chan. Block E, Rosie Donnelly, Fantastica Cosmica, Dragon Rosa, Sakura, Chiyoko. Block F, La Brujaha, Julia Garcia, Galaxy Girl, Amelia Armstrong. Block G was Vanessa Price, Kaoru. I butchered that. I have not said these names in a while. Javiera, Leslie Flair, Valentina Crane, and then Block H was Kana Zuka, Tanya Reese, Mai Hapon, and Bashira Matsumoto. And yeah, we had who do we have wanting to win that tournament?
Who was our desire?
Yeah, who's our desire? I'm trying to figure out because we had it all mapped out, but we had a lot of upsets. Like we
There's a lot
changed
of
up the
upsets.
structure. Like we changed up the structure going year 2, which we'll talk about that in however many
I
episodes
mean,
from now.
really, there wasn't a set winner we wanted. It's just the idea that you have a list of people like Brooklyn, Maya, Vanessa was thrown around, but not Vanessa
Yeah.
wouldn't become Vanessa until Kingdom of Aces won. But
Yeah,
she's
not until
always
for
an
like
underdog
that
at
half
this
a
point.
year. And then
Michelle
like,
Rochefort, we were big on her.
Megan Von
Abu
Horn.
Taha,
Megan Von Horn was really high.
Yeah,
There's
what
that
about
one.
good old Dar?
Nah, this was before she had got to the
This was
company.
before them.
This was the first
before
time. This
that
was
one.
before those days. This was yeah, because I'm just looking because we had many young stables and this was before the women's division got stables. It's kind of like everyone was out for themselves.
Yeah,
This
it was
was
before
VIP launch.
the
Yeah,
tag team division.
yeah. We still we had the black hearts. So it was like the
I think
only
Tuesday did it like a month or two earlier before Monday did.
Oh
No,
yeah, I'll get to the first team once it's my turn.
Didn't you have that since day one? Am I crazy?
one.
I don't think we did.
I
Or
was
maybe not day one, but it wasn't like
I feel like y'all
wasn't
had
it
it
like
way
year
before
one?
us.
I was building towards one group specifically.
No, because I remember the first ever oh god, what our Survivor series, what was it called?
Crossover.
Crossover.
Yeah.
We had the women's tag match, and it was
Yeah, you already had a women's.
They had tag champs, we didn't, so we sent the Javieras as just kind of the undisputed best. Or I shouldn't say undisputed, but
Well, I mean, we
as the
definitely
team
kind of
momentum.
had
Yeah,
a
y'all
head
guys had it.
start with it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really solidified yet until lockdown with the first faction.
Because before this, were we still built? Well, we're still talking. Did we? I don't think we had tag champions, right? Or was this
Men's?
or was the tournament? Yeah, men's.
Yeah, the
What were we
Lone Star
doing?
Sable won it at New Arrival, which was
Yes. Yeah, because lockdown. I'm just trying to think because we had the Hanakamura. That was the tournament was after.
The tournament ended
Lockdown.
the day after lockdown, or 2
So-
days.
So I guess we'll reveal that next episode when.
Or
talk
we
about-
could, yeah, we can just reveal that next episode.
Yeah,
so
next episode.
We started the Hanakamura Memorial Tournament. And one of the more iconic moments of early Massacre was the 4th of July.
Yeah, I'm looking at now the tweets.
Yeah,
we used to
Lily
do, like
Fox.
big tweets back in the day.
Lee Fox mocking America, Brian Street responding, and then
All
Then-
countries matter. I'm sorry. That's just.
hashtag all countries matter. Then quote from Lee Fox: on Monday night, we'll test the patriotic Brian Street and see how American spirit works for him. He'll be going up against the Masquerade champion Dread in an Independence Day brawl match.
And then Dread, it was one of his first ever promos he had cut. You know, kayfabe wise, you know,
Rare.
it was dead. But you know, it was one of the first times he's ever spoken. You know, the only time. I think this was the first time. The other times were involving Chris Edwards, but that's way down the line. But you know, we had did this kind of like.
Oh, that Yashi Khan. No, I'm not gonna let this slide.
No, that's after. We're talking about Brian Street. We're going like Chronicle.
He's talking about like promo wise.
Yeah, promo wise, you know, this was before, and then we had that show, the Independence Day Brawl, and then
That's an iconic match.
it's the first time Dread, we thought he was going to show up as himself, but he showed up as his human self, and he still whooped Brian Street's ass. Brian Street got no offense in that. That was like a true burial right there. But Brian, he knew he played the part. We had a whole idea, a huge feud going within. It's like, okay, him versus management. The man ended up getting arrested later on, but right now it was him versus Fox. If you haven't noticed, Fox likes to start stuff with people. The more episodes we'll go through.
Of the recurring theme. Also, we launched the Crown Jewel Championship Tournament show. Tell us, the Crown Jewel.
I'm trying to pull that up. I'll talk about that trade in a few. The Crown Jewel. Damn, I'm trying to scroll up. You got
It's above Vanessa's promo.
above Vanessa's promo.
It's above the first Asian Heritage Power Rankings, which was a short-lived.
Ah, yes, I see it. Okay, yeah. So we had a multi-man tournament. There was, 2 blocks, 8 participants. So, we had Wild West Wrangler, the leader of the Lone Star stable, a true national icon to America and a true icon to the people of Texas. Then we had Bullet from the Asian Heritage Division, the youngster, the future alcoholic, future in and up in rehab multiple times. He was very promising at the time. Then this was Mike Rivers, making a statement, kind of mid-card. We didn't like to say the word mid-card. It was kind of like the Crown Jewel. It's a special title. It's like we looked at it as our Intercontinental. It's like there's going to be some prestige with it. So it's like launching this belt. It was Alexander King's, it was his baby. It was his belt. And, in that same block, we had Ensign Clark. He tagged with Johnny Rocket in the Uprising. In block B, we had Brian Street. Then we had Pure War Jr., Tomatonga. I, called back to, I guess, the episode before. You talked about that with Tejano X. We had Carts Rowdy, then Noah Thomas, It was a damn good block if think about it. It was like the staples of that division, I would say, like, if you're thinking about the state, early stages of it, Mike Rivers was important, Brian was, and, Bullet and Carts, they are very important part to Massacre, the first ever match, and, those were the guys. But, all right, I'm going to let you go talk next.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well,
We are still on.
we're trying to get done with ours.
Y'all made a mistake letting us talk. We don't know. So we introduced the Crown Jewel Tournament to tell you that Brian Street threatened legal action on Lee Fox after the entire Independence Day Brawl scenario. And then Lee, I mean, how many tweets do I see? 1, 2, 3,
I see
4,
so many.
a thread.
Expect these papers today. My lawyer will be dropping. Have we revealed who the lawyer was at that point?
Lawyer, I don't.
When did we introduce Mikazuki?
I think Brian introduces Mikazuki around this point. But yeah, Mikazuki is Brian's lawyer and one of the more iconic, pairings in GRFC history. And then Lee Fox, and this is important, pulls Brian Street out of the Crown Jewel Tournament due to legal issues. And Ajiro Matsuda gets put in as the replacement.
And then
and we had this is an important moment. It's Tejano X versus Shinsuke Igawa on July 13th in a Champions versus Champions match, and we see this show, July 13th edition of Monday Night Massacre 2020, has a lot of important moments, actually. It has Bryan Street and Mikazuki versus Ten and Sakura Chiyoko. She's Mikazuki. Kinda hold her off.
yeah, I remember that. Oh no, hold up! You gotta look at the match A, the Blackhearts versus Team Dropkick, because this is important to Lockdown. Maya Hapone broke her neck the first time. It was DDT from Boston, and they ended up beating Brooklyn because it was 2v1, and that was one of the storylines going into Lockdown. Damn, this was actually an important show.
And then we have Tejano X versus Shinsuke Igawa. Shinsuke Igawa pinning Tejano X for the first time in Massacre history.
And then hold up,
And
that was very crucial. My bad. I'll let you finish that part. It's been a while.
and then Bryan Street sues again for Bryan Street, and more presses, more. I remember at one point we went to roleplay an entire court room.
Yeah,
I remember
that was one time you two did that.
Yeah, but
we teased that, but that was kind of that was a lot.
that was that was. We've done a lot of long stuff with that.
There's some press conference thing too at one point.
Probably. And press conferences.
The pressers stayed.
A whole
The pressers
court.
were long staying.
But hold up, here's actually a very important part of history right here. It was a trade with Thursday Night Takeout, and I remember the names. Monday Night had received Iscariot, Reina Del Tigre, and a question mark to be later announced. And then Takeout received Mona Lisa and Angry Knuckles. Can you quote to me what you said about Iscariot? Because you questioned me on this trade.
Oh.
About it. Just tell me.
Okay. Everyone listen up. This was an error in judgment. Bison, the role player of Ian Sezonov, and the former manager of Takeout, DMs me. And he basically they're coming with all these trade offers. They're just throwing things at me. They're testing the waters of trades and all that stuff. I'm trying to find the specific DMs.
I know what the words are. Can you search
I know
up
what the words are, but I'm trying to get it exactly.
This is important.
This is a very, very important part of history.
I'm sorry to the other co-hosts. We'll wait for y'all guys to give y'all's whole in depth.
Why don't you just continue on with the July 20th edition of Massacre?
The July 20th. Ooh, okay.
Because that is another insanely pretty remarkable moment.
July 20th, we had Bullet, Enza, and Clark because we had the results after. The main event was. Oh, hold up! Before I get to the main event, before someone broke out, it was match 9 was a champion, so it was Tejano X and Shinsuke Igawa versus the Lone Star Stable. Then the main event is probably one of the most historic things that ever happened to our company, and
actually,
we had. You found it. What was that?
So I'm gonna cut you off. So I get on July 3rd, 2020, the general manager of Takeout DMs me, quote, "Yo, what do you think Massacre would give in a trade for Iscariot?" And I respond with, "A nosebleed seat for you and a friend of your choosing."
Christ.
Yeah, and then in a few episodes from now we'll talk about the impact that man has had, but just remember that name. And then the question mark, I think I know who we got in that trade.
No, it's they make a surprise debut at Lost in Japan.
But so for the main event, it was the Asian Heritage #1 contenders. It was a Time Royale match. There was this one man. he's become a legend. You know, did you talk about the famous match with the devil?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, yes, Yao Jaquan. You know, he was supposed to be buried by Lucifer. You know, I had huge hopes for Lucifer. You know, the flipping devil, and Yao decides to beat him. Now this man, one of the number one contenders, Royal Rumble match, and books his ticket to face Shinsuke Igawa Lockdown. The short little Chinese man. This would, I would say, propel him to stardom.
He
What?
enters as number 2.
Yeah, he enters as number 2, became the famous number 2. You know, Maskers had a lot of number 2 winners. You know, if he was like, oh, number 1's the match. No, for Masker, that was like number 2. If you win number 2, you had the highest odds of winning it. But the man just became a legend. Hold up. Injury report about Maya Hapone after the whole injury.
Awesome,
She
DDT.
was taken out of the Hanakamura Memorial Tournament, and she was replaced by Akira Matsuda.
So
She was out for 3 weeks.
I
Yeesh.
don't know if I should say this, but this is the say all expose of GRFC, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
this is pretty much a backstage kind of podcast. So.
Yeah. I got some heat on me for not originally putting Akira in. So when Maya went down, I was like, great, we all get what we want. Storyline injury means I can take someone out and it makes sense, and I can put Akira in. Throw Akira in, using Maya's injury as an opportunity to put her in.
Hmm. And then, you know, we get through that week, and then
The most
know,
important
I
thing
forgot-
happens in Massacre history.
it is, yeah. Dad will probably be rolling his eyes after this, but it's when the VIP first was formed. Vanessa Price, you know, had a backstage, all that great, like the little picture that had the promo. You know, she had recruited Nina Armstrong in the parking lot and all that. She was like, you know, just recruiting her. You know, Vanessa, those two were like buddies. You know, people know Vanessa as the cutthroat woman who would do anything to get what she would want. But when it comes to Nina, those two were partners to the end. Like, that was the one person she was never gonna betray. Same thing with Nina. And, you know, we never came up with ideas of one or the other just betraying each other. These two, like, had each other's backs. They helped propel each other's careers. And they needed each other both. Like, Vanessa's success was key on Nina. And then Vanessa, you know, Nina made her name off Vanessa. Just all that. And she's like, you aren't like these other women. You actually have talent, as she, you know, as she said with a smirk, and that was like the start of probably not just the start of the most dominant faction, I would say, and I think probably one of the greatest champions we've ever had. Just Massacre, GRC alone. It was that moment right there. I'm just, you know, it's kind of like for me, my first show here. It's like just looking back memory lane, like damn, these like who would have thought writing this promo would lead to like this and that.
Yeah, that was the Go Home show. Or Lockdown.
Mhm.
That one right there. So,
And
do you
then
want us to go ahead and discuss Lockdown right now?
Here we go,
Anything
main show, baby.
yeah, so we'll let y'all guys take over now. Talk about your portion. You know, we talked about
Yeah.
our build.
Well, before I give mine, the spinner wheel actually landed on Dead. So, Dead, what
What hell do you want, Shan?
What was your thoughts in a business sense, owner sense, on the Lockdown pay-per-view, and how you kind of made your decision to pretty much eliminate the joint pay-per-view afterwards?
I mean, the joint pay-per-view was because we ended up getting rid of the other two shows because it was too time-consuming and shit. That allowed it to be split into 2 different days, really. As far as Lockdown goes, match-wise, I think that was like the first thing we did was the War Games shit.
Oh, you can't do the match today.
Yeah. Oh.
Fuck off. At that point, it's like, alright, we're gonna fucking do it in spite of you guys and show you that we can do it. Tuesday was also the first time we experimented with a backstage brawl type match.
That was the Go Home show, I think.
Yeah,
Or the week before that Go Home show.
I believe it's the Go Home show because that ties into
Yeah,
two
it was Go Home
important
show.
things.
I'm looking at the thing.
So yeah, anything else you can kind of add about Lockdown before I do the build?
I mean, we had the Milkman and Prey still continuing their storyline.
Oh, yep. So
This one actually built up Hannah and Yukina pretty well, though, because they had a really good match there.
Oh yeah, that was kind of one where Yukina was, she did something to impress me, and I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do with her.
And then we had Stitch Mort get formed and then go on to become the longest reigning champs.
Yeah.
Because the tag division at that time fucking stunk.
Yeah, this shit sucked.
These guys fucking stink.
So, all right. Anything else you want to add before I ramble on as much as Sharp and Show?
I mean, I guess we'd be remiss to leave out the fact that Carmelo it chose a stipulation, which I mean.
Oh well, I'll get to, actually no, you got that wrong. So her opponent chose it, which is even funnier.
Either way, yeah, they got to choose it, and I think the thing landed on Russo Fuckfest, and Russo Fuckfest became War Games.
There you go. So, all right, here we go. So, hot off the heels after GRFC Homecoming, I had made a highlight video because this was an idea of mine that I quickly dropped, and I ended up playing that with the theme song playing in the highlight video because I wanted to do something that WWE used to do with the WrestleMania stuff where Limp Bizkit was like 3, 2, 1, and it would like play the highlights or whatever. But that was something where it just took too much work. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. But one of the first things that happened, so taking a shot, was the villain George, who wrote, "Congratulations, I'll be taking that from you," and in regards to Mar. So this was when he laid down the challenge, and Mar, as the fighting champion, said, "Bring it, challenge accepted." George said, "We have history. You've never beat me one-on-one. Just remember that Destino, 1, 2, 3.
Hold on. Zach.
Yeah.
I think that was I think I defended the title days after the pay-per-view, I believe.
Well, no, because I'm reading 6/27/2020, which was shortly after the pay-per-view, because I posted the
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I posted the
Okay.
results of it.
Okay.
Because one of the first things my character tweeted after the Texas Death Match was, "Hate me all you want for what I did. I don't care. Mar Rivers got lucky tonight, and what I did afterwards was bring him down to reality. I'll prove that Mar isn't a real champion." Because I gave you like a switchblade and then a curb stomp after the match. Because I was feigning a handshake, and then I went full blown heel on you. So
Yeah.
George did the tweet where he said, "I'm the best Battle Machine on Tuesday. I want Mar Rivers. Give me what I want," and tagged me. So that's when I made it official, and I did the at GRFC TTT account being, "It's official. Mar Rivers will put his top tier heavyweight championship on the line in the main event of hashtag Top Tier Tuesday against at George GRFC." That's when George tweeted, "I will face Mar for the world title on Top Tier Tuesday. This is why we are the A show. Screw those B shows. Good luck to Mar." And then that's when you tweeted, "Mar, I would defend my world title against the man I haven't yet defeated in my career, against George. Despite him being injured, I don't give a damn. Hell, I don't even care if I had to roll my wheelchair down the ring before this match. Let's tear the house down on this Tuesday main event." So this was the fucking main event of the show. This was me trying to build Mar as like the top face of the company. And I wrote, "As the general manager of Top Tier Tuesday, I can't show favoritism. However, I'm wishing my best friend George luck in his match against Mar Rivers. Either way, it should be a good main event." And then this was when I laid down my own challenge. So I wrote, "There's only one man in my career that I've never beaten. Tomorrow, I see if I can finally get the job done when I face Prince Shu on Top Tier Tuesday, because at this point I had history where he had beaten me at every turn. So this was me trying to get rid of my demons. So the first match on the post-lockdown, or the post-homecoming show was Mario and Craig versus Blade and Rage in a Tuesday tag title match, which obviously Mario and Craig won. Hollywood Hannah versus Babe Ruthless happened, so this was kind of building back Babe to kind of chase after the title. But I believe this was when Hollywood Hannah started to develop her undefeated streak. Because this was when I really played into the fact that Hollywood Hannah was the daughter of the Miz and Maurice. Then Violet Jet versus Cooney. This was when Violet Jet was just tanking the ratings. Me versus Prince Shu. That was when I believe I lost that match if my tweets any indication. And then this right here after Homecoming was when Hell's Harlots officially became a team. So the co-main event was Carmella and Strawberry with Chassie and Lucy versus the Best Friends, which was the other kind of women's team. And they would join up with the team I would coin the Gay Brood later. And then
Nice.
and then main event was George versus Mar in a hellacious top tier heavyweight title match with Mar retaining in a great match. Bonus match was Johnny Wazao versus Priest, which I don't know if we did or not. This was when I was doing this was when I was doing the 8 match format, which I would expand to like 12, I believe.
Then back down to 10.
Yep. And then I wrote last minute decision. The match between Tony the Milkman versus George will now be a title match for the mid card championship. Bad news: Jafar has given top tier management headaches over Tony being able to win the title as a convicted felon. Because I believe Bad News Jafar was the guy that Tony eliminated to win the whole thing. So I wanted to build that storyline. Then Mar would tweet, "First, I want to give props to George for putting on a hell of a fight in that main event tonight. Almost had me in some of the moments in that match, but I defied the odds and came on top. I don't care what people say about me. Love me or hate me, I proved I'm a fighting champion." And this was when we had made the white gear Seth Rollins attire for him. Because that was going to be like his big kind of match type of attire, just like my white attire was.
Yeah.
So my tweet in regards to losing to Mar was to Prince Shu was my anger and arrogance caused me to lose my match against Prince Shu. However, this is far from over. And then the Top Tier Tuesday tweeted, Mar retained his top tier heavyweight title against George in an impressive main event title match yesterday. However, Mar has opted to defend his title against George and Zach inside a steel cage at the next pay-per-view. Good luck to all 3 men. So this was when I instated my rematch clause for the pay-per-view, and I decided to throw George in there since they had a hell of a match. I'm like, let me get the 3 guys going, and it's going to be a hell of a match. Carmelo tweeted, "It felt great to team up with my old bestie Strawberry Suki, but what's even better is now the best damn show of GRC has a femme fatale champion they can be proud of. Unlike that paper champ Babe Ruth." Carmella was a bitch around this point, which I definitely leaned into, where Carmella was being very arrogant. Let's see. So yeah, Mar was training. I made the graphics, so I was very heavily like making the match card graphics and shit, because I was doing this shit for fun. So I was like, fuck it, why not? Let's see. So this is kind of the build. Then this was a very good tweet to kind of get my character some motivation or depth. I wrote, "My biggest mistake in the Texas Death Match was underestimating Mar. I know George better than I know anyone else. There's absolutely nothing I won't do to leave the cage match as champion on July 25th at GFC Lockdown." Let's see. Oh, here we go. I think I made this from the office of Zach Ripper. So here we go. This is a statement I made. Before I say anything, first I must congratulate you, Mar, on beating me in the Texas Death Match for the top tier title. Defending it against George the next day and challenging us both in a steel cage match at Lockdown. However, there's someone I want to test your skills against, and I extended the courtesy at his promotion to compete this week. And if he does accept, you'll be facing him in the main event this week. However, if he decides to no-show, you'll be facing Patrick Blade instead. So, here's the mic drop. This is who I ended up getting to face Mar as a big surprise. That man ended up being none other than Emo Boy. So, this is something I can talk about and kind
I'll
of...
be ashy.
This is something I can talk about and kind of reminisce and be like, this is what I would change. Emo Boy versus Mar for the world title was made official. And I wrote, I'll be watching the match closely. And this is when I kind of turned on Emo Boy. Now, thinking about it now, what I should have done, because a lot of people expect my guy to turn on Emo Boy, what I would have done differently now in hindsight is I would have flipped it and have Emo be the one to turn on me. Maybe after Lockdown or something like that, to kind of get Emo Boy a whole like heel run thing going. But Emo pretty much was like, yeah, if you want to do a heel turn on me, like, I don't care, it's fine. But in hindsight, I feel like a Emo Boy heel turn with Zach being kind of a tweener kind of character would have been very interesting. And it would have been cool to kind of see that go instead of doing the obvious predictable thing that I ended up going with, which, looking back now, there's nothing I can do about it now, but that would have been way cooler. Yeah, Goth Goddesses debuted on the next show against Hollywood Hannah and Cooney. Bad News Jafar was facing Praise for the mid-card title, which Praise ended up winning. Because, I believe... Yeah, I don't know how Praise won the title. I guess maybe he beat Tony on a show or whatever. George had an open challenge, which I don't remember who answered it, but it was probably a big name. Zach versus Mortius kicked ass.
George and Jay faced each other or something in the open challenge.
Probably. Carmella versus Violet Jet was fucking crazy. But this was right around the time when I was letting her go because she kept tanking the ratings. Mar versus Emo Boy, champion versus champion special singles challenge because Emo Boy had a title in OWA. And then the bonus match was Johnny Wazal and Tony McMahon versus Johnny Wazal versus Johnny versus Tony versus Patrick Black. So that's when I did the heel turn. And that's when I said, if you want a statement from me, you'll have to wait. Because that was the whole like heel thing where it's like, I'm going to make you fucking wait before I tell you anything. Because I also wanted to figure out what I was going to say to justify it. I also wrote, I hit my curb stomp on Mortius in my match tonight. I had him dead to rights. That should have been the end of the match. Unfortunately, or fortunately for Mortius, Sierra Moon slow counted. Sierra Moon is getting on my last nerve. So that's when So me and Carmella are getting really pissed off at Sierra Moon, so we're kind of building up to that. Let's see. So I cut a promo where I say, congrats on your win against Emo Boy last week, Mar, although the only reason you won is because I got involved in attacking Emo Boy. I'll give my reasoning next week on OWA Wild Wednesday, so you all have to wait until then. However, I've decided to give both you and Emo Boy an offer. You see, Emo Boy had the right idea in World's Crappiest Company to hire himself a heavy or a bodyguard by hiring Dealer Reality. So I went searching and found my own bodyguard. A man named Corbin Vesper, who's only made one unscheduled appearance in GRC. So maybe... wait, I don't think that was the open challenge. So it must have been something else. So here's your choice, Mar and Emo. Either one of you can take on both me and Corbin alone, or you can put your differences aside and lose together. I'll leave the choice to you. Then top tier Tuesday to breaking news. Praise has paid Tony the McMahon's bail. Praise stated, quote, I felt like it was the right thing to do after I won the mid-card title. Okay, so yeah. So I guess he was stripped of the title because he went back to jail or whatever, and then Praise won it. Dirty Dishes. This is so fucked. Isn't it convenient how as soon as Praise won the mid-card championship, he sprung Tony out of jail? If you ask me, I think they're in cahoots. Hashtag Tony is still a murderer. Hashtag Praise AIDS and abeds. I was going fucking crazy with these tweets. I tweeted, after thinking it over and clearing my head, I've decided the best place to give my reasoning... oh wait, I already kind of mentioned that. So they accepted Johnny Wazow versus Iron Manzi was something that happened because Dead told me that Manzi was a real person and I wanted to use him. Because from what I remembered, he was a goofball, so I was like, alright, let me put Johnny Wazow and them together because they're both goofballs. Here we go. This is the official formation of Stitch Mort on 7/13/2020. Patrick Black and Kurt King versus Stitch and Morbius. Winners face Mario and Craig for the tag titles at Lockdown, and against the fucking odds, Stitch Mort won. Then match 3 was Praise and Tony the Milkman versus Dirty Dishes in a handicap match, which I believe Praise and Tony won. Hollywood Hannah versus Scully Love happened. Strawberry Suki, Lucy, and Chastity versus Violet Jet in a handicap match. George versus Jet Hunter in a steel cage. And then the co-main event was Zach and Corbin Vesper, which Corbin Vesper was the guy that Dead had made for OWA. So I just decided to use him as well.
I made it for FPO at first.
Oh, okay, true. So we made him. And then
It was at the time it was meant to be like your tag team partner in that because Tejano wanted that.
Yeah, so then I decided to kind of make him like my bodyguard, kind of like Dealer was for Emo for his original idea. So that's when so my tweet about that was so scathing. So I was really leaning into being an asshole GM at this time. So the main event was Babe Ruthless versus Carmella for the Femme Fatale Championship, and this was when the whole flip-flop-roo thing was kind of going. So this is when Carmella lost the title to Babe again. Jessica King versus Natty Rocks was a bonus match. Tomahawk versus Marco Da Vinci. I don't know if we did any of those.
Which one?
Jessica King versus Natty Rocks, and then Tomahawk versus Marco Da Vinci.
Oh, we probably did. There was only 8 matches.
Yeah.
More likely we did that.
So I wrote, Zach Roper looked to make a statement in his tag team match against Emo and the Touch Heavyweight Champion Mar. So this was when it was in the middle of the tag match. Zach had, I think, hit the Switchblade or some sort of move to win, and then afterwards he fucking curb stomped the hell out of Emo Boy. Like, I think he could give him like 2 curb stomps if I remember correctly. So this was when we had the idea that Corbin Vesper was only going to speak in Japan and we'd like translate his promos. So this was like the first one he did. Corbin looks at the camera. He set up in the harem brothel room. He said, quote, I'm the new guy in this rebuilt stable as we find the pieces to be on top again. Sadly, the ladies didn't get it done this week, but the harem king and I got our first tag win on the climb towards the Mountain of Glory. Emo and Mark put up a good fight, but Zach having tuned his path doesn't seem fair. I'll take on any challengers to prove we're here to stay. My contract allows me to go from OWA and GRFC as I please, just like Zach's. Until then, we look forward to celebrating next Saturday with new belt. So yeah, this is really when we started leaning into the whole Zach and his harem thing, and that goes into my most infamous promo I've ever cut here. And I'll kind of give a backstory on where I was at when I cut that.
Yeah, don't fuck nowhere.
Oh, so I also teased my new theme song like a fucking asshole, so I'll play it a little bit.
Was that the bullshit one that
It
took
is
forever?
yours truly, Zach Roper, the goth rock star, the harem
Oh, boy.
king. And you have the privilege of me being in my studio right now as I work on my brand new theme for GRFC Lockdown, which I'll be debuting. But luckily for you, I will give you guys a short preview of this new theme as a little treat. Alright, that's all you get. Until the pay-per-view scrubs, until then, I'm out. Yeah, so I was very much leaning into, like, being an asshole. Mario, goddamn, Zach. A wrestler in Top Tier Tuesday, Zach Roper, can't let me lose to another Java, right? And then, yeah, Var did the whole meme where...
I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah, so... to quote Dr. Samuel Hayden in Doom, I am not the villain in the story. I do what I do because there's no choice. So I was very much leaning heavily. So then the theme song. So theme songs are always important for me when it comes to pay-per-views. The theme song was voted by the people in the server in the... So for a second pay-per-view in a row, Bring Me the Horizon did the theme, which was Parasite Eve, which was the whole COVID song, so that worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Dad wrote, everyone, Zach has stated to me he is in bumfuck nowhere, so he currently can't do the show. We'll be doing a makeup show within the week, so yeah. This was when I went and visited my dad's mom, so my Grammy, and we were literally in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So here we go. Here's the infamous promo right here. So we're literally at the Go Home show. So to set the scene... Zach is seen in the Top Tier Tuesday GM office. Chastity and Lucy appear next to him, straddling him, rubbing their hands against him, and giggling. Zach looks at the cameraman. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of JRFC. My name is Zach Roper, the goth rock star, and the general manager of Top Tier Tuesday. As we slowly approach our next pay-per-view, JRFC Lockdown, I decided that I deserve a long overdue break this week from in-ring action. Unfortunately, George and Mar Rivers don't have the same luxury as me. Since they don't have the added responsibility of booking the shows, they are contractually obligated to compete tonight. George will go head-to-head with my brand new heavy, Corbin Vesper, and I'm sure both men will be challenged by one another. As for Mar, our top-tier heavyweight champion, well, I'm going to test his endurance tonight because Mar Rivers will be competing in GRFC's first ever gauntlet match in tonight's main event. Lucy and Chastity kiss Zach on the cheek and playfully bite his pierced ears, both giggling some more. While I'm entertaining my guests, I'll be sure to watch both of your matches carefully. Zach gives the camera a wink, and Zach takes turns kissing Lucy and Chastity before the camera fades to black. So yeah, this is my most infamous fucking promo, and I literally wrote this right after that fucking atrocious Extreme Rules match that we watched. So the fact that, so I had to write this all on my notes, and then copy and paste it just so I can make sure I didn't lose it. Yeah, so here we go. The Makeup Go Home show. So Johnny Wazao and Chris Jackson versus Tony the Milkman at Prey. So we're still kind of teasing the whole match between them. I believe... yeah, here we go. So this was when it's been reported to top tier management that the reason why Tony the Milkman left his tag match was because he had received an urgent message from the police. The police believe they have finally identified the one who murdered Tony the Milkman's brother, the Muffin Man. And this was when we dropped the news. Top Tier Tuesday tweeted, after a thorough investigation by the police, it has come to our attention that Praise is now the prime suspect of the Muffin Man's murder. Police found a hair and tissue sample belonging to Praise at the crime scene. Because of this recent development, Tony the Milkman has elected to face Praise for the Mid-Card Championship in a gruesome rules match at GRFC Lockdown. So this was when we did the reveal, and I believe I had Dead do it where Tony ended up leaving the match in the middle of it. So this was, match 2 was Ninth Circle versus Stitch and Mortius. They're still trucking along. Scully Love versus Violet Jet. I was getting frustrated with Violet Jet at this point, and Scully Love was kind of a bum that eventually I was going to try to take her under my wing, because I believe she hit a switchblade in the match. I'm like, oh, okay, I could do something with that. Artemis versus Strawberry Suki. Artemis and Athena were the gay brood, and they were having issues with Hell's Harlots because Hell's Harlots were running roughshod over everyone. Heidi Hansen versus Hikari, versus Lash versus Sting versus Yukina versus Harakiri in a elimination style battle royal. So this was when Yukina really impressed me because she had a whole bunch of eliminations, but I believe Harakiri ended up winning the whole thing. So because Yukina impressed me so much, I decided to have her go in a match against Babe Ruthless. Or no, not Babe Ruthless, Hollywood Hannah. So then this was when we did the backstage brawl. So Dead, how did we set this up between George and Corbin Vesper?
What do you mean by that part of it?
The backstage brawl. How did we come up with the idea and how did you implement it?
I want to assume it was probably another fuck it type of testing ground match because that's what
Probably.
Tuesday was kind of.
We were very
doing that
headstrong and we were very much at the beat of our own drum and saying, fuck you, we'll do this shit because you don't think we can.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of Tuesday was like testing matches.
yeah, so I believe we did the thing where we took off the ropes and we had it where it looked like a kind of parking lot area or something close to
Yeah,
that.
pretty much.
And we did it like falls count anywhere and shit like that.
Yeah. I think it was just turnbuckles.
Yeah, here we
That was
go. This
about
was
it.
then the co-main event was Carmella Nocturne versus Babe Ruthless, with the winner choosing the lockdown stipulation. I forgot who won. I want to say it was Babe Ruthless because that's what I said on the show. Watching it back for the pay-per-view. So I believe we did that and we just did the whole spin the wheel thing. We did the War Games match as a fuck it kind of thing. So we'll talk about that when we get to the actual pay-per-view. And then Mar Rivers will compete in a gauntlet match, which was when we had the infamous fucking Hitman that I later said that Zach hired him to soften him up a little bit. So I think it was like Craig Copeland or someone like that was the Hitman.
No, it was like Alan Carter or something. Chad Carter,
okay.
Alan Carter. One of the
Oh
two.
yeah, Chad Carter. Chad! So yeah, he hit that.
Dig, Chad.
He hit that hellacious looking suplex on the apron. I'm like, oh my god, Mar's fucking dead. I'm not sure if he's gonna even make it to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So Mar was able to overcome the odds of that, but then I think there was like a big dude. I forgot. Oh, you know what? It might have been the Irish dude. What's his name? Ferguson Gray that came out and fucking
Yeah, I
beat
think
Mar.
it was.
Vela! And then that was the main event. The bonus matches were Janice Reed versus Emma Sky. I don't think any of these bums ended up making it after this. Chris Tedds versus Iron Manzi in a fuck it, they're goofballs match. And Bienvenido versus Shooter Man, because Shooter Man kept complaining that he wasn't on the show, and I'm like, alright, here you go, fuck it, here you go. So here we go. That is the go home show. Now, let me spin the wheel to see who's gonna talk about the pay-per-view. So, Mar, buddy, time for you to talk about your match as much as you can.
Holy fucking run.
Let's see. No. Lockdown match. Man. I don't remember, honestly. That
Well,
shit
I
was
you were
crazy.
the damn champ.
Yeah,
Hey, man, I'm trying to remember.
let me ask this instead. What was your thoughts at the time? Because I know you were like busy trying to make Mike Rivers a thing in Monday, and you were trying to juggling it along. What would have been your plans if you had retained?
Man, my plans? Basically, if I retained the title, I would like trying to like build up more feuds in Top Tier Tuesdays. I would say go like build up a feud against Prince Yu since that would be a dream match of mine personally.
Got you. Maybe a program against Corbin Vesper as well,
Yeah, him too.
since Corbin would have tried to avenge Zach's loss if that happened.
Yeah, then I try to like defend my title against Emo Boy as well. That's another one.
Right,
And
since you guys didn't really have like a real title match because I did the angle.
yeah, if I still retain, I think Zach and Mar wouldn't be finished. We just like kind of just started the
Yeah, we
feud.
kind of take a break a little bit, but then kind of come back to that once you defend the title enough.
Yeah, right. And trying to make like more dream matches,
Yeah.
in more future feuds. But yeah. But almost came close to retaining it too as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very nerve-wracking match.
Every time my heart like dropped every time. Like what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, cuz Dead asked me how I wanted to do the match, and I was like elimination. That way we have like a clear winner. I don't want any fucking
Yeah.
bullshit like the Carmella match, because with the Carmella it was just her being a opportunistic bitch and pretty much doing it to spite the fans. But I was like, for this, with these three guys, there's got to be a clear winner.
Right. But let's see.
So
Well, yeah.
what move were you using at this point? Was it still the bitter end move?
Yeah, the bitter
Gotcha.
end at the time.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember you went through like phases of like changing your move a little bit.
Yeah. And I think I use Stormbreaker as well to end matches as well.
Right. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. What was it you were saying before?
Oh, that was what I tried to say.
Oh, okay, got you.
Then after that match, I lost like damn. But
Yeah, you were the first guy out. I was surprised about that because I thought it was gonna be down to either you and George or you and me.
yeah, it
Because I had
Yeah.
no like plans on who I wanted to win. I was like, whoever wins wins. I'll just build a program off of that. So it's not like me. It's not like I never really booking mod any finishes. I booked mod moments or something like that.
right.
So whoever won. Like I had no control over that.
Yeah, true. But then I then I left Tuesday, went to Monday, did some things over there.
Oh yeah, because because that was the point where I had done the
Yeah.
30-day not complete where compete where it's like, all right, this guy's not showing up, so get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, out of here. We don't need you no more.
Right.
But did some things on Monday. Then I think Mark took another break actually.
Probably. I think that's right. So yeah, is that it?
then- Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
All right. Sharpen Show, your turn to talk about the last joint pay-per-view lockdown.
So, lockdown, we were still rocking with the super shows. So, we came with a flying card. I mean, we rocked with super shows till the day we died. But here, we ran Brooklyn Thompson versus Boston. Boston broke Maya's neck or whatever. Brooklyn's here for revenge. This is a cage Texas death match. This is a barn burner. This is insane. I think it ends with
It
a
was like
sledge
30 plus. Yeah, a sledgehammer like overhand, like
over the head.
straight. Brooklyn, it was like batting practice. She was just swinging like for the fences.
It was insane. I high 90s, I think, for the rating. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
a very good match. In a Masquerade Championship, three-way elimination steel cage. Dread comes, Dread does Dread things, and Dread walks out. That's how Dread does Masquerade things until he gets upset. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Then we have a little 8-man tag team elimination match. Tejano X, 10, Noah Thomas, and Pedro Ward Jr. versus Kenji Iwabuchi, Grizzly Kamuta, Bullet, and Iscariot. Iscariot making his big first pay-per-view appearance on Massacre. And so, new arrival happens. There's a double interference in Kenji versus Tejano. So Kenji rallies and campaigns for a rematch, which he does get at the August Super Show loss in Japan, which we'll talk about in the next episode. This we're hyping that all up with all the people who were involved in all the interferences and some other ones. Grizzly Kamuta. I want to say this is before he puts on like one of the most iconic matches
I think
in
this was
Massacre
before him
history.
and 10.
This
right?
is before him and 10 go insane. Bullet. Crown Jewel Tournament. He's doing well. Iscariot makes. This is kind of before Iscariot. When would you say Iscariot becomes Iscariot? Because I feel like he becomes like
Oh
Iscariot.
no, he became a scary when we gave him the title match.
Yeah, he becomes Iscariot when he defeats Shinsuke Ogawa in a huge upset.
Which that'll be
But-
like, I think next
but then-
episode, 2 episodes from now.
Even his run with KYO, I think that's kind of where he low-key became Iscariot. Because I mean, he'd do all these suicide dives and crazy stuff. So I think that definitely helped. We have Shinsuke Igawa versus Yao Jaquan Show. How does this one play out?
History is the first time Shinsuke Ogawa has ever lost a belt. Yao Shaquan, the man who we had pegged to bury Lucifer, ended up winning the Royal Rumble, number one contenders match, and now he's here, and then he upsets like Shinsuke Ogawa. I remember this because this was a few weeks back before I reported for preseason, my freshman year of college. I just remember this, like, I know it's so long ago, and it's just like remembering. I remember I was back home in Texas. It was huge upset. It was like, this was not supposed to happen. This man was not supposed to be here, and it was the first time, like, his famous move, the parachute drop, we end up calling it. Like, the man would just run up a man's chest, go so
Like
high up
a
in the air, and just
mushroom
crash down.
stomp. It's a mushroom stomp. Then he like does an inverse 630 like off his opponent's chest.
And then, like, as I said, Yao was one of the biggest parts to our company, to the way we structured Massacre. Like, just history, you'll see his name just carried throughout, and this was like the start of his ascension. And then
Start of
match
it.
5, it was probably one of our, and looking back now, it's like one of our best tag feuds we've ever had. It's not up there with, it's up there, top 3.
This was
maybe.
the upset, I believe.
It was the upset. We had this, yeah, because Purgatory was a few weeks later, the next month.
Now,
No.
if Lone Star wins it back at Lost in Japan, then they defend it again at Purgatory,
Yes.
and then they go on.
Mhm. Yeah, this was the upset right here. World Flush, I think it was the shortest tag reign. Yeah, it's the shortest tag reign we've ever had in Massacre history. They
And
never.
just started the tradition in the tag where you'd win it, you'd lose it quickly, you'd win it back, and then you'd hold it for 200
Every
days.
major
The
champion we had is
Siege-
that Lone Star stable. The Siege loses it to like.
Siege did the exact same thing when they had an even bigger upset, which I don't know what episode we'll get that to, but that's one of those moments where, as a general manager, you sit there and go, God, we should just mod this entire thing. And
Well, not this matchup. We had high hopes for World Flush. Like,
no, I'm talking about the morgue.
Look, when we get to that episode, I just say I feel like it was a reward to them. You have to admit they did help build the division. They were some of the best workers
We
we've
had
ever
high
had.
hopes for the Royal Flush. So them being the Lone Star Stable was like, all right, have a have a few to bring legitimacy.
Hey, boys,
to the
they
Royal
hurt. They hurt.
Yeah, they were always hurt.
Flush. We're always hurt.
This was the first tag reign for Lone Star Stable. They lost and then went on a tear. This was before the heart failure for Wild West Wrangler started showing up, and man was at the top of his game. Fountain of youth or something. He discovered it, but yeah, this upset was like, we weren't mad about it. Yeah, we were just shocked by it. It was like, wow. But Royal Flush was like, all right, we got like another second big team. We had the Koch brothers. They had big names coming in. They just never panned out.
Royal Flush beat the Cook brothers in #1 contenders match to get to Lockdown.
So, yeah, Royal Flush. We just had high hopes. They were still huge to the inaugural part of Massacre. It's just they never reached that full ascension. Same with 10. You talked about like last episode with Asian Heritage. It was like the man was literally like one elimination away. Like history would have changed if you think about it. But Shinsuke Igawa had different plans. Like imagine if 10 won that. Imagine if Royal Flush had so many things. So many what ifs.
Imagine if Barong didn't Barong.
Yep.
Wrong, you suck.
Yep. The hatred is still there.
Hell yeah.
Next edition of Massacre, there will probably be a new character that Dead's gonna hate, but we're gonna love.
Yeah, emotion.
What you mean? He ain't all the products, kid.
Yeah, see, now that makes more sense.
Nah, you love Dread.
No, you don't.
Yeah, Dread's ugly, sir.
But,
I don't like anything that I make.
You loved Bullet? Bullet had a sweet spot.
Bullet is a drunk druggie. He needs help.
It's funny
Jesus
because
Christ.
for his drunk version, we gave him the witch's scent theme, and he like fucking would fall over, just running
I remember
away.
telling you I was saying it to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
just
yeah.
to see how much I could get Sharp to fucking cringe inside.
I gotta see the first I gotta see the first time he did that. I gotta go over and watch back, but yeah, that was a downfall right there. Bullet, like not skill wise, he was always gonna be up there, but just like his downfall to being a drunk, it was like that moment right then. It was like he created a story. Like if you think about like Sharp and I, we pieced so many different parts. Like Bullet's story was so
Yeah.
layered. Like it's supposed to be so simple, but if you think about it, it's like so layered.
And sometimes
Yeah.
he'd be sober.
hmm
Then he'd have different like win rates when he was drunk and sober.
Yeah, like
It's like this guy was only good when he was drunk.
Yeah.
So sober Bullet. Oh, he going out for the kill today. Drunk Bullet. Oh, this man's gonna like be Johnny Gargano, kick out like 2.9 of everything. But yeah, that's for Massacre. That's our build to Lockdown. Next episode, like for us, Lost in Japan. That's a monumental shift in everything. This is like when the factions start growing for our brand. Sharp knows I love factions.
Anyone
It's-
who has watched a second of Year 2 Monday Night Massacre knows we love faction.
It's funny because you guys were kind of setting up the whole stable thing first, and then Tuesday, my show, we were kind of catching up a little bit. Like we were on your heel, so we got the women's kind of stables first, but you guys got like the men's ones, and we were kind of
Mhm.
like catching
Yeah.
up with you on that.
Yeah, year
And we
2,
flip-flop.
that's when the stables. Yeah, year 2, like women's just came. VIP lounge. That's enough to carry.
VIP Lounge came and then everyone's like, all right, we can't beat them alone.
And we had
Yeah.
the Cosmic Flyers. They were like our only one for like the longest time. Women's like this is when they slowly started.
Cosmic Flyers had so much
Right.
potential. I think the biggest fumbling of the bag in Massacre history are the Cosmic Flyers, and that's entirely on me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all on you. That wasn't me. But we'll talk about his failures with booking them, and if he took my advice.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know what
thought
my
you
biggest
two
failure is.
co-booked it.
Oh no, we did.
We
but
do.
We let the other
just-
one.
We take our own
but-
projects.
Yeah, we take our own projects. As
Like
I said, you get-
Vanessa, that's all him.
But yeah, VIP all me. Cosmic was all him.
Now
Denara,
wait a minute, Sean. VIP, I told you guys how to fix that fuck up.
Okay.
No, we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. We'll talk about that. Okay.
Oh my
Vanessa, No, okay. The
Look at
OG
the-
VIP lounge. Now the expansion was
The
your
OG.
idea.
The
The tag
OG
team was mine.
OG.
But the
Yeah, the
Russians
OGs were nothing compared to year 2.
Your 2 VIP Lounge, quite literally.
Hey, no,
One
Vanessa,
year
They ran
as
Monday.
champion,
no,
1 year
Vanessa
as
was
tag
champion by the time the crew got together.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to get to that part of history.
We need to show the collapse when we get that far.
But yeah, I'll go more in depth about the next faction. That was my idea, and my failure. One was a failure. That's all I'll say for the next episode. The rest, they were goated. But I'm gonna let top tier. I'm gonna let Zach, Mar, y'all take over.
Alright, well, Mark kind of already gave his thoughts, so I guess I will be the one to finish this shit. So, Top Tier Tuesday Lockdown, which is the final joint pay-per-view with Monday Massacre. So, last time you guys ended up having the main event, this time it was our turn for the main event. And boy, what a fucking main event it was. So, we started off the show with Stitch and Mortius, known lovingly as Stitch Mort, took on Craig Copeland and Mario Corleone in a fuckfest tornado tag barbed wire death match for the Tuesday tag titles, and that was won by Stitch Mort, which they ended up starting their monster run, and it was ended by a neck hanging bomb by Stitch on Craig. So this was the fucking start. This was when we got our tag team division straightened out. It's like, all right, this team is what this fucking show needed to kind of get this tag division going. So then the second match. So this was originally not the original match I had scheduled for this. Hollywood Hannah vs. Yukina in an Extreme Rules Texas Death Match was very last minute. Originally it was going to be an Extreme Rules SWA Rules match. But I was like, nah, that's not extreme enough for this. Because I wanted to see these two just fucking go at it. After Yukina pretty much went crazy in that one elimination battle royal. And Hollywood Hannah was pretty much trying to retain her undefeated streak that she built up. So that was won by did I not post? I know that Hollywood Hannah won, but I forgot how many points they had. I think it was very close. It went on
I think
a
it was
long
like
time.
2-4.
Yeah, it was very close. Hollywood Hannah ended up winning, but this was like Yukina's breakout match, and that's when we did the whole Yukina Chan. She's the character from ReZero kind of gimmick we were doing. It was like after this match. The third match was Tony the Milkman versus Praise in a Gruesome Rules mid-card title match. So I switched it because Gruesome Rules is very similar to SWA, and I didn't want to have two
Gruesome Rules is UFC.
Yeah, I didn't want to have two back-to-back similar type matches. So that one. So with our MMA matches, we usually have I think it was like a 10-round limit before it went to decision, and we've never done that. The only time we've gotten close to that was, ironically enough, with Danny. They got very close before Danny fucked it up at the end.
Actually, no. The boxing style ones were 10 rounds. The MMA were 5. That's what it was.
Okay. So this was in the 44 seconds of the fourth round. Tony the Milkman knocked out Praise. So that was huge. Then the co-main event was George versus Zach Roper versus Mar Rivers in a triple threat steel cage match, elimination style, for the top tier heavyweight championship. So Mar Rivers ended up getting... So actually it's funny how the eliminations were done back to back by the same move. So I had beaten Mar Rivers with the nail in the coffin because my character was very much choosing his spots, being very opportunistic or whatever, while George and Mar were just beating the shit out of each other and then teaming up against me every once in a while. So Mar was the first one gone, so we were guaranteed a new champion. So it was like, alright, George versus Zack. This is a match that we haven't really seen before. Let's see how this goes. And then Zack ended up beating George with the nail in the casket, pretty much starting the most infamous and controversial title run in GRFC history. And I'll explain what happened with that in either the next episode or the episode after that, with what the original idea was and what we had to fucking do. So this was the start of that run. And then we get to the main event as a big fuck you to the Mod Pack community. It was Hell's Harlots and Carmella Knockdom versus Babe Ruthless as the Femme Fatale champion, the Goth Goddesses, Artemis and Athena, and Violet Jet, all teaming up against each other in a Femme Fatale Championship War Games match, with the rules being that the participants that came out was randomized. So we didn't know who was going to come out when. We didn't know in what order. 2 women would start, then a third person would come in after 5 minutes, and people would keep coming, and it'd be elimination style. Because when we tested this out, we had it at first pin, and we were like, oh shit, this match might end in like 3 minutes, so let's not fucking do that. So let's just do elimination style, kind of caught to amp up the drama a little bit. And the person who would get the final pin in the match after eliminating a whole team would be the Femme Fatale champion. And the whole story was Babe Ruthless was trying to make sure that her teammates didn't fuck her over. And with the Hell's Harlots, it was like no matter who won, even if like Strawberry Suki or Lucy or Chastity won, they'd do the Poke of Doom and let Carmella win back the title pretty much. So it was like, so the worst case scenario for Babe Ruthless would have been either her being, her not getting the last elimination and having her teammates win the title, which they would not have been willing to do that, or Hell's Harlots would have done it in another way. She would have been fucked over. So it was like very much the odds were against her at the time. So the match started off with Babe Ruthless taking on Lucy, and I kind of got to scroll through the videos to kind of see how these eliminations were done. So I believe Hell's Harlots kind of lost the advantage early on because they were too busy just beating the shit out of people. So Babe Ruthless, I believe, eliminated Lucy first. So Chastity came out after that. And then who came out? Let's see. I'm trying to just scroll through and just see who came out and who eliminated who. Because I have, like, what Fire Pro listed it, but a lot of it's just, like, how they pin, and I don't know who pinned who. So I'm just, I'm going to rate it like that. So, Lucy got eliminated by, I believe, Babe Ruthless. Then, Athena ended up being eliminated via pinfall. Then, Babe Ruthless lost 23 minutes in with a both hands press pin. So, I believe that had to either been Carmella, or it might have been Strawberry Suki, actually, who got the crucial pinfall. It was either Carmella, Strawberry Suki, or Chastity who got the pinfall, and we were guaranteed a new champion at that point. So, Babe was pretty much fucked in the 23-minute mark. So then Chastity was eliminated via the clutch plex by, I believe, Violet Jet, because that sounds like something that she would do. 33 minutes and 17 seconds, so that's kind of when, that must have been really when they, like, lost their advantage or something like that. Then Artemis was pinned by the Eternal Slumber by Carmella. So Carmella was in her human attire because this was something I had wanted to do, where I wanted to show what she looked like as a human before she was turned. So she kind of had the whole NCIS Abby kind of look going on. And I did it where, like, Carmella is a bit weaker when she's a human, but she's still capable of, like, wrestling. So it's just that she's not as overpowered when she's like a vampire, pretty much. Then this was the this was this was pretty much the last elimination. Carmella ended up beating Violet Jet with the Samurai Driver, so the nail in the coffin, and that was pretty much it. And we just sped it up to see who was like would win the match or whatever. So Carmella won the belt back via the War Games match, which is probably the most interesting way to win back a title in this whole flip-flopperoo, which they would go on to have their rivalry come to a head at the last pay-per-view of the year whenever we get to that. But at that point, Carmella and Babe Ruthus were the top rivalry when it comes to the women. And yeah, it was a hell of a show where we pretty much just said fuck you to a lot of people, and this was pretty much putting the pieces in place to really get Top Tier Tuesday going to pretty much like the show it became. Because I remember at this point I very much loosened up. I was more like on my meme game, and I also was like putting shit over as well. So this was pretty much a turning point for Top Tier Tuesday, where it's like, all right, now we got the big kind of stars or whatever with the belts. We're gonna fucking build the shows around these people and make this show a big deal if it wasn't already, because it was something where at this point we wanted Top Tier Tuesday to be something memorable and something where you didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen anymore. So that was pretty much locked down for Top Tier Tuesday. Anything that you guys would like to add before we end this?
No, I think I'm good.
Oh, I'm good.
This product still sucks.
So, Dad, what will we be talking about in the next episode? What pay-per-view came after Lockdown?
Allegiance.
Oh!
The
Oh,
sad-
really?
Jackson City.
Oh, so, okay. This was a very interesting show then, if I remember this correctly.
For Massacre.
I
Sad-
think Allegiance was Faceless and Supreme are kind of like the headline of
Oh,
that.
yeah, so this was when we scooped up Supreme in the draft after Thursday and Friday was dissolved after pretty much, if we didn't already ended them, the fucking main event of night 2 pretty much solidified where it's like, yeah, these shows, they gotta fucking go. You remember that, Dad?
What?
The fucking main event of night 2 of Lockdown or whatever the fuck it was that ended in 3 minutes where it's like, alright, these shows, they gotta fucking go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's like,
Oh, it's
if
not great.
That already had a reason where it's like, you know, no one really watches the Friday and Thursday shows because everyone's busy. But pretty much that finish that night was like, alright, fuck these shows. We gotta get rid of them. Yeah, I feel like that's a great way to end it. So we will talk to you guys next time about GRFC Allegiance. So until then, rock out, scream, cuckoo, choo, bye-bye.